Hi, here's how we start putting the Mulberry Millie upright quilt basting frame together. We put one lower horizontal bar on the floor and then we connect the end upright section to it, and that leaves that the rest of the frame can then stand upright, and you can assemble the rest of the frame from that point onwards. So what I've done here is I want to have the basic frame, which is that section, and I want to put the extension on it to put my large quilt, which is about 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters. I want to put that on the frame. So what I've done is, to avoid any tripping hazards and to make it assembly easier, I've put the lower horizontal bar at ground level at the back. Then I can work around that. So I've got the first upright, the connection in the middle, the extension section on the back here. Now when you first get the frame, the connectors will be quite tight, and I use a rubber mallet to assist in putting the frame together and to dismantle it. But after a time, the aluminium stretches up and the connectors wear off a little bit, and it makes it a little bit easier. When I'm putting my frame together and pulling it apart, I use these Velcro to just secure one end while I'm working on another end, so the whole frame doesn't sort of collapse on you. Though when you first get the frame, it'll be quite tight, like I said. So it's just mainly for a little bit further along the track when the connectors are loosening up a bit. You don't want to hit one end and have the other end fall out on you. So you need to be very careful when you're putting the frame together and pulling it apart that there's no children or infirmed people around. And now I've got the frame together, and I've got the front horizontal bars at the top section, the top connectors, and the one at the back on floor level, so I don't trip over that. You can put the horizontals right down to the floor depending on the size of your quilt. And also when you're putting the quilt on, if it doesn't fit, there's also fabric pinning panels that can take up the area that's not to form a window, so that you can put your quilt backing and your quilt on, so you can still tension it. There we go, and I'll be putting the quilt on the frame shortly. Hi, at this stage I'm organising the wadding or the batting on the back of the frame, just to let it drape for a little while before I put the quilt sandwich together. Hi, now I've got the backing, it's not on properly, I'm just doing the measurements for it at the moment to make sure it's the right size and I've got it on the right way. So what I've done is I've put it on at the top, and then if you have a look here, you can see I've just folded it back just so that I can get that bottom bit, the bottom bit straight, so that when I let it go, it doesn't all sort of like bunch up in the middle if I do it this way. So there we are, got it nice and pretty much straight. It does help if you have someone to help you with it. So we can just pull that one across a little bit. And there we are, the backing is on, and I'll tighten it and then have another video. Now I've got the backing on the frame, and I've tensioned it so that it just bounces gently. Just a nice bit of tensioning there. When you're doing the quilt, you do need to re-tension or check your tension on a regular basis. This is this frame set up like this. It's the basic frame with the extension, and it measures 2.6 meters long. And here it is in my lounge room. I can still, well, 3 of us can still watch TV at this stage, and if more of us want to, I just need to move the frame out of the way. Here we are. I've put the backing on, and now I've put the wadding in place. I've squared it up, and at the top I've clamped it with the clamps, as you can see, and down the side I've pinned it. Now you don't need to pin the bottom section like I clamped. I could put the clamps on the other. It's a bit dark here, but anyway, so that'll just drape. That'll just fall down as I'm pinning the top on. So I don't clamp the bottom of the wadding or the bottom of the top. Hi, here the quilt top's on the frame now. So the backing's on, the batting's on, and I've put the top on. So it's pinned on 3 sides. It's pinned on the top, and then I just pin downwards. And then when I've done that top section, I'll unclamp it from the frame, and I'll throw this top section over the top of the frame here, so that can be supported by the back part of the frame, and then I'll retension it and do the bottom section. So this quilt's going to be about 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters, and so I'll need to do it in 2 lots. Hi, here we are. I've finished pin basting my large quilt. The quilt, when it's completely finished, is going to be 2.5 meters wide by 2.6 meters long. That's about 98 inches wide by 102 inches long. It's been done on my Mulberry Millie upright quilt basting frame Ellie with the extension attached. Now the basic Ellie is 1.6 meters wide, which is approximately 63 inches, and the extension adds another metre, which brings the overall width to 2.6 metres, which is approximately 102 inches. The height of the frame is 1.7 metres, which is approximately 67 inches. What I've done is I've done the top part of the quilt, pin basting the quilt, and I've put that over the top of the frame to take the weight of the top part of the quilt while I do the lower section. And one of the advantages of this is that the frame takes the weight, and it takes it away from the lower section that I'm pinning, and so I don't inadvertently pin the 2 sections together on the frame. This Mulberry Millie upright quilt basting frame can also be used as a design wall, and what you do there is you get a single bed flannelette sheet and clamp it to the frame, as I've done here with the quilt, and pull it taut, and it makes a wonderful design wall, and it's portable. It dismantles and stores out of the way when you don't want to use it. So this is Anne from Mulberry Millie upright quilt basting frame saying thank you for watching. We'll see you again, and happy quilting. This frame that I've put this video together on is in actual fact the frame that's supplied in the USA. It's got the grey aluminium with the grey connectors, whereas the Australian frame is white powder coated aluminium with black connectors. So happy quilting.